Good evening, campers. It's me, Kieran, and first of all, thank you again for supporting this channel. And I come with another coffee-only review, which is Svetlana Alexievich's Chernobyl Prayer. I have got a video on my main channel, The Unwomanly Face of War. Now, some of you might not know this book, but you might have seen a TV show by HBO that features heavily from this book, and that is Chernobyl. The Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded on the 26th of April 1986. And Alexievich talks to people who were there around the time of what it was like after that explosion, be that immediately after or the years commencing. And we start off with an oral testament. Now, all of these are oral stories from the people, and similar to The Unwomanly Face of War, Alexievich is there just to transcribe verbatim. She's not there to add her own flair. She's not there to add to the voices. She's merely ascribed to these people. And the first story is a woman who goes to visit her husband in hospital. Now, he, like many people after the eruption, went out to help clean up, and he's in his t-shirt and his jeans scooping up the slurry coming from the nuclear reactor. She has a difficult time getting into the hospital, but due to people being apathetic, allow her in to sit near him. Over a couple of hours, his skin turns grey and quite literally begins to fall apart. She also mentions to Alexievich that she had caught cancer just by being next to him. Reading about Chernobyl feels absurd, and in a testament from a psychologist who worked through World War II, he says that nothing compares to Chernobyl. That people were told that things would happen, and things were happening to them, that physically didn't seem like they could be possible. And we'll hear from people who argue that this invisible monster, this war that they're having with something that they cannot see, well, is it happening? Is it just luck? Is it just coincidence? And how do you bury your own child based on a disease that people claim is from Chernobyl due to the radiation, but there's no proof in that? A lot of the testimonies within Chernobyl Prayer question and query, well, if X, Y, and Z were happening due to the radiation levels, well, how are the soldiers coming in and out? How are the doctors coming in and out? How do the doctors know what to do to prevent it? And you can understand why. Do you know what? I'll tangent off here. Living in the pandemic, where, again, we're dealing with something invisible, something that people can't see, Chernobyl has that sort of effect on people. That, well, if I can't see it, then how do I know that it is affecting the land? One thing we have to know about Chernobyl is that it didn't affect the immediate area. It went outside of the area as well. And people living under the Soviet Union had to change everything about their ways. There's a section that I like within this book where Babushka is questioning, why should I wash my potatoes when I get them out of the ground? This isn't France. We don't do cuisine. We just survive on food. I just like this brashness of, but if I've done it for 50 years, what changes it now? The potatoes haven't changed. The soil hasn't changed. I haven't changed. So why would I treat it any different? And you get this sense of frustration from the people, especially when over the gate, land that they should not be tending, a bountiful harvest is being cultivated in front of them. Why over the fence are they seeing military personnel and doctors farm it up from the diseased land, from everything that they shouldn't eat because it's radioactive? Why is that harvest being brought up? And no one's given them these answers. It's all speculation because, well, some of the scientists they go in, we don't particularly know. This isn't something that we have ever experienced. It's not something that you can see. Although very early on, a woman finds some blue glowing, it feels like a sci-fi movie, that there's this material that she's found that very much gets swept away. In between these frustrations, we have just difficult moments of the people who have been affected. Not the speculation, not the, well, should I eat the potato if I want to eat the potato? Like, of actual children. And there's a moment where mum advises that because of the radiation, their child wasn't born without a bum or any genital parts, and they have to manually express the urine. The testimonies are pretty sharp. They kind of get straight to the point as people are allowing themselves to talk about it. And you see the horrors lay before you. And you also have the confusion, the frustration, the upset, the unknowing of people just wanting to find out, well, when do things get back to normal? If they ever will get back to normal. No one's really going to tell them. No one's really got the answers. Even soldiers who were working there, they're paid 3 times their normal salary to monitor Chernobyl, and the soldiers there are going, we don't really know what we're doing here, but we have been advised to just bring vodka. One of them mentions that was a tactic to deal with the horrors of World War II, and maybe it will work here. Despite your comfort level on the topic that is Chernobyl, I would say Chernobyl Prayer is a very accessible, very hard-hitting, but a poignant and humble book to some degree. Alexievich isn't there to push an agenda. Alexievich pure is giving a voice not to the voiceless because they were never asked. She's there to give people a chance to speak. The wonder of this book is that it showcases how far people will go to show their solidarity, how far people are willing to go in order to double down on their beliefs. Maybe some people want to show their solidarity and will do things that they otherwise would never do. Would you sit in a home with someone and eat a knowingly radioactive sandwich just to stand by them? For me, Chernobyl Prayer is a 7 out of 10. It shows that you should listen to people despite their views. And maybe we should listen more rather than speak.